Hello and good evening, yogis. Welcome to our 5 o'clock Vinyasa flow class. I'm excited tonight because I have two fellow teachers with me. Over here I have Chris, who teaches, well, over here I should say. Over here I have Chris, Facebook flips everything on us. And then Betsy, who decided to join me for tonight. It's nice to be here to practice with you all. We miss you, of course, here in person in this space, but it's such a blessing to be able to have this interaction this way. So we're going to offer up what we're grateful for this evening and just enjoy this practice together. We're going to begin either in a kneeling position. As you can see, we're all in here. Otherwise, seated just on your bunk. You can cross your legs. We have blocks underneath of us, but you could find a blanket or a couple of books to just kind of lift and lengthen the spine. So we have a little bit more space and kind of freedom for our breath and our life force to move. So we'll begin seated. Give you a few moments to get yourself organized. Let's take a nice deep breath in together, maybe even letting the eyes close. And exhale, release. And continue with a few rounds of breath. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling back out. And as you're taking these rounds of breaths, my friends, I want you just to notice how you're settling in. The end of a long and busy week for many of us. We're navigating uncharted territory. We've been asked to take on more load and complexity in our work lives and in our home lives. And it's going to feel like a lot. And we're each going to take one day at a time and one breath at a time. As we breathe in and out and center ourselves, coming into this practice, onto your mat, into the space that you are in, I want to just invite you to let anything else hanging heavy or worrisome, just to let it be off to the side. Almost as if you're going to leave those worries and thoughts at the door and have an option of picking them back up when you are finished. But for now, enjoying each of those luxurious breaths in, breathing in deeply to the body, and exhale, releasing. As we think about our inhale breath, I want you to maybe tie the thought of receiving as a word or a phrase or a feeling. As you're inhaling, you're receiving that breath, receiving that energy. And as you exhale, there's a sense of releasing, sense of softening or letting go, and maybe even yielding, bringing yourself down into the space that you are and coming into the moment. Let's take a few more rounds of inhale with that thought of receiving the breath, being open to what is in front of us, being grateful for what we do have. And exhale, releasing, softening, yielding to the moment, again, with what we have. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're glad you're here in this practice. We've taken a few centering rounds of breath, thinking about receiving the breath on our inhale and exhale, releasing. And we're going to head into the theme of our practice this evening, which is about balancing out our right to left, our hot to cold, our up and down, and our ins and outs, our sun and our moon. And we'll begin with the practice of alternate nose breath. It brings in the breath through one nostril and we exhale back out through the other. So bringing some clarity to our mind, centering us, letting us yield to this moment and inviting us to receive that breath and that energy and balancing it out. So you'll begin sitting up tall in your spine. If you need to make any adjustments or shift yourself off your props beneath you, certainly do that. And then we'll take our right hand up, placing the right thumb on the right nostril. And then taking your pinky finger and your ring finger, moving as one unit, kind of like they're glued together, laying them on your left nostril. And putting no pressure or effort behind those 2 fingers or 3 fingers, just letting them lay there. And for this evening's practice, you could either curl in the other 2 fingers or you could let them kickstand between your eyebrows. Wherever you've chosen, just let your hands rest there. Find yourself releasing into your shoulders here a little bit. Maybe finding a little bit more grounded sensation down through your sit bones and lengthening up through the crown of your head. So as we begin, the effort will be to breathe through one nostril all the way to the top. You might feel a cooling sensation, and then you're going to exhale all the way back out through the other, alternating the pressure from your fingers on each of those nostrils. So we'll start simply by closing the right nostril and inhaling through the left. Closing the left nostril and exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right nostril and exhaling through the left. And then inhaling through the left. Exhaling through the right. And continue that pattern for a few more rounds. You're going to see me place my hands back down so I can talk more clearly to you. And Betsy and Chris will continue with the practice. So again, this goal of bringing some equanimity and some sense of balance through our nadis, our energy channels. And they run through these different sides of our body. So we have our right side connected to the sun, Surya. Our left side connected to the moon, Chandra. And take one more round, and as you need to, you can let that go. Let the hands rest back down. You might need to swallow, cough, do any of those things, whatever you need to do. It's a different practice. And anytime we do a breath practice, we can always visualize it. So remember that. We're just trying something to center ourselves. It may or may not be something that feels comfortable, and that's okay. You just breathe in your own way. Okay, so let's breathe through both nostrils real consciously. Inhale. Exhale, sigh through your mouth. And take one more breath like that. Inhale. And exhale, sigh. Nice job, my friends. We're going to shift off of our blocks or props. It's okay. We have the sun blazing at us. If some of you remember being here in the Chandra studio or Surya, there is a sun that is just coming in radiantly at us. So we're basking in the sun here. All right, we're in table pose, my friends. We're going to stretch the right leg straight back. And take a few movements with your ankle and your toes. So just start to get some movement back into those distal joints. Stay steady into the arms. Keep your heart and chest open. And then easy does it, set that leg back down to the earth and shift yourself over to the left side. So from sitting in that position of our knees and that deep flexion of the hips to knees, just getting some blood flow back out to the toes, the ankles. And a couple rotations here. And then as you're ready, go ahead and place that knee back down onto the earth. And we're going to tuck the toes under right away here and walk the hands forward on your mat and start to shift your sit bones and your hips back towards your heels. Find some space between your fingers, like really open them up like you're going to claw into the earth. Let your head start to rest between the arms and the heart and the chest laid down onto the tops of the legs. And take a few breaths in here with this extension of your spine, the long length of your arms. Maybe sense the work into the bottoms of your feet, the balls of your feet, your inner arches. As you take one breath after the other, feel that lateral movement as your ribs expand to the sides, as you sense those big lat muscles on your back opening and coming into that breath. Let's take 2 more here, breathing in, breathing out, a little bit more of a steady breath that we can follow through our practice. And then letting that go, we're going to shift forward, bringing the shoulders over the wrists. You can let the feet go flat back onto the earth here and just come forward over the wrists, kind of just this nice little modified plank pose. So shoulders are drawn back, shoulder blades into the spine. And on an exhale, press yourself back. Walk your hands towards you so you have a little bit more room to drop the sit bones back towards the heels. And do that 2 more times. Inhale, breath, float forward like you're taking the energy from the base of your spine forward. And exhale, shift back. So as we move through our practice today, friends, let's see if we can bring awareness to that breath. The receiving of the breath, the releasing of the breath. Noticing the in and out, the forward and back, the side-to-side movements of body and breath, and balancing that out. It feels so good to move, we're just moving forward and back. We're going to take our last time and settle back into child's pose. Take an inhale breath here, and an exhale breath release. Inhale breath, walk the hands towards your right side. And only go part way. So even though you know you could probably keep walking a little bit further, pause at sort of a halfway point. Draw your left sit bone back down towards your left heel and breathe in and alongside of that left side body. And then take another breath in and out, maybe walk a bit further or try bringing your left hand on top of your right hand. Notice what happens in that sensation, down and under the armpit, through the shoulder, down into the side ribs. Watch how your breath changes here. And then inhale, exhale, release, we'll go the other direction. So just like we sat up tall in our spines at the beginning of our practice and found our breath, this lateral movement gives us a chance to really open up into those side bodies, to find more space, more freedom. And that's what we're looking for in our practice, freedom. Placing the hand on top if you choose to, so this time right hand on top of left hand. Big breath in, down into those side bodies. And then as you're ready, come back to center. We're going to take a movement of cat and cow and blend it a little bit with other movements of spinal flexion and extension. So to begin with, I want you to come up into table pose. But yet keep your hands forward a little bit. So they're going to be a little bit further forward than they would be if you were aligning shoulders, elbows, and wrists. You're going to come out of that alignment so that we could be prepped to come up to downward dog. So your knees are hip width apart. You can keep flat feet on the earth to begin with. And our spinal extension is going to be kind of tipping the pelvis so that the tailbone goes to the sky, the belly releases to the earth, and the heart draws forward out of the shoulders. And just feel that extension of your spine here for a moment. And then as you exhale, toes are going to tuck under. You're going to draw the belly up and in, start to lift the shins and the knees off the earth and go all the way back to your downward dog. And just take a breath or two here. Maybe you paddle the heels. Maybe you bend the knees. Wipe off the sweat of the hands. You know, all those things.
Leave a little traction on this bugger.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing. I got a new mat here too, and I'm finding myself challenged, ripping into it. That's how life works. We gotta just take it one breath at a time. Here we go from our downward dog forward to plank on an inhale. So feel yourself float forward. And then exhale, draw up from the belly, lift hips high, press back to downward dog. Inhale breath, let the knees float to the earth. Exhale breath, draw your sit bones and hips back towards your heels. And you're gonna feel the pattern here. Inhale forward, cow or dog pose. Exhale, breath, downward dog. Inhale, forward plank. Nice and steady with the breath. Exhale, lift from the belly, hips high to the sky, downward dog. And here's where we get to float those knees down to the earth. Inhale and exhale, draw back. We're going to move on our own 3 more times through that pattern. So when you're ready, inhale, breath, float forward, draw the heart forward, taking that spinal extension. Exhale, lift up and downward dog. Good, now move on your own breath. Notice that synchronization. Inhale to exhale, forward and back, up and down. Finding those ways of balancing ourselves out. Being okay with that place in the middle. Noticing any jaggedness and watching how it turns to smoothness. The more you move, the more you connect with your breath, the more you stay patient with the process. Let's lift up and back to downward dog as you're ready. Bring those feet close together here. So you're going to kiss your big toes. Lift up onto the balls of the feet and then spin your heels to the right side. So here's another nice stretch for our side body. So as the heels went to the right, notice what you notice in your left side. Breathing in, breathing out. Come back through center, spin the heels to the left. Now watch that right side. Breathe into it. Come back to center. Look forward to the hands and start to make your journey to the front of the mat. Exhale, breath, Uttanasana, forward fold. And take a generous bend in the knees. Sometimes feel like people see the back of my head a lot. When you're doing these things, you realize all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm glad you're all humoring us and joining in and just being ourselves. Here we go. We're going to grab a hold of our elbows because that feels awesome. Letting ourselves come into this ragdoll pose and feel like you can move with this. I don't know, Chris, Betsy, have you been sitting more than normal? Have we all been in front of computers more than we probably want to be? Yes. So we're swaying that out. We're letting that spine decompress, letting some release come into the shoulders. Come back to the center and just curiously, because it's kind of fun to be curious here, what happens if you kind of pull down just a little bit with your hands on your elbows? So kind of like you want to draw your elbows towards the earth. And then you're going to gently let that go, let the hands release, and let's take a big breath in to draw ourselves upward, arms alongside of the head. And then bring the hands to heart center. Good. Then we're going to do all those things like rearrange our hair, move our shirts, and come back to the hands at heart center. And you can draw those feet together. And take a nice breath in through the nose. And exhale. And again, thanks for joining us. I see some folks coming in a little bit later into the practice. Welcome, welcome. We're about ready to move through Sun Salutations A. We're so glad you're here. We're starting here in Tadasana or mountain. Take a deep breath in, arms reach up alongside of the head. As you exhale, hands through heart centers, you fold from those hip creases and release to the earth. Inhale, draw the gaze and the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, breath, jump or step back, plank. Good. We'll lower to knees this first time, lower to belly, and take 3 little Cobra poses to open up that back body just a little bit more. So inhale, breath, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, release. Inhale, lead with that engagement of the back of the throat, feeling those erector spine and back muscles turn on, and then release down. Good. Sense the belly draw up towards the spine. 3rd time here, elbows drawn in. and release. Toes tuck under strong as you press up, lift hips high, downward facing dog. Good. Now we brought some awareness into our lower body before. Now we're just going to bring some awareness to our breath. So pay attention to your next inhale breath. And then notice your exhale breath. Then I want you to take a moment to go to your right fingers, and feel as if you're breathing up from the right fingers up through that right arm to your right shoulder. Now strong and engaged that arm is. And then as you take your next breath, send that breath down through the right side to the top of the hip. And then do a breath that brings you up from your heel to meet that original place there at the top of the hip. So just taking some energy of the breath up through the limbs on that right side. And then head over to the left side, do the same thing. Sense your breath coming up through your left arm. Sense it going down through your left side. And heading to that right side. So longer hold here, my friends. You're doing great. You feel like right and left side, have that breath, and take the breath from the crown of the head up through the tailbone. Inhale, breath, bend the knees. Exhale, breath, jump or step, front of the mat. Inhale to our half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Take a back bend if it's there. Hands return to heart center. Take a nice receiving breath in. And exhale, yield ground. Let's do two more like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, really stretch forward with that heart. Exhale, feel yourself come back in towards the legs. Inhale, breath, take the transition on your own, jump or step back. Move through chaturanga this time. Hold up to that upward dog if it's there. And downward facing dog. Notice your breath here, the right to the left nostril. Notice where you are in your mind. Again, taking that receiving breath, being receiving of what we have here. Grateful for this moment. Exhale, releasing. Right leg is going to come up high here for a moment, just taking a little deviation here. Reach it up high, and then bend the knee, taking the heel towards the bum. On an inhale breath, float forward with that bent knee, drawing it towards your nose. And then inhale, come back, but don't straighten your leg. Yeah, one more time, curl it in, push the earth away here a little bit, and then come back, this time extend, kick that heel up to the sky, release it down to the earth. Take a light jump or step forward. We'll get the left side on the other time. Reach up on that inhale, breath, half lift. Exhale. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hands, heart center. Good. Take a nice breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach. I am getting warm. Exhale, release. Are you all? Woo! Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Here we go. Jump or step back. Nice. There's something about practicing with others, my friends. This human connection, this energy. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, we activated that right side. Let's take the left side. So left leg reaches up. Now, unlike our straight leg curl, I'm going to have you bend your knee first. So flex the knee, bring the heel towards the bum. Inhale, and as you exhale, start to come forward. Taking a little bit of a cat pose in your spine. So draw the chin to the chest, push the earth away as those shoulder blades move away from the spine and reach back. I know it's tempting to kick the leg up, isn't it? And then pull it in. There, and back you go. This time, reach and kick the heel to the sky. Nice and strong. Lift the corners of our mouths like we're having fun. Release the foot to the earth, light jump or step forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Rise up. Bring those hands to heart center. All right. Well, if you're at home practicing with us and you need a drink of water, I'm going to take a drink of water. Let's all take a drink of water.
Sure, let's do it.
Who knows?
I wore the wrong shirt today.
You warm?
It just keeps floating on.
Oh,
I don't want
thinking
to
black. All right. If you're really serious in your practice, I mean, we have fun here. So we pull up our pants, pull down our shirts. We do all that kind of stuff too.
Everything
All right, exactly. All right, let's head into some lunges. Let's open up those hips, get ready for some lateral work. So bring your feet about hip distance apart. So just right down where your leg bones would naturally drop down. So not coming out to your football stance, but just right down from your hips. Take a deep breath in, arms reach. As you exhale, I want you to cross and touch your shoulder blades. So you're sitting in a different position for your arms, getting ready for some cow-faced arms, and then reach back up again. And try that again. So inhale, breath. As you exhale, reach and find your shoulder blades on opposite sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise up again for me. Take that little stretch of your arms to your shoulder blades with your hands. Good, re-extend the arms. Exhale, sink down, chair pose. Good. So keeping the legs a little bit more apart here for chair, drawing the belly up and in. Arms at any point could lower to shoulder level, hands to heart center. Invitation to stay here or come out at any time, otherwise we'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fold over those legs. Inhale, breath as you go half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in. Jump or step back, move through your vinyasa, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Nice. Check in with that breath. Soften up through your cheeks and your jaw. Notice if one side of the face feels tighter or tenser than the other. Then we'll lift the right leg up high. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Ground the back heel, rise up, warrior 1. Inhale, breath. Exhale, hold and stay here. Take a breath. Feel yourself grounded, yielding on that exhale breath, receiving, lifting on the inhale breath. Good. So we're going to take our right arm on the same side as our right leg and take that to the back. So lay it right on your back, like right near your shoulder blade. Take the other arm and start to reach around. You're going to find your cow face pose arms. So you're either finding fingers interlaced, or maybe if your bottom shoulder needs a little bit more support, or it's just a little bit today, go across your low back. Okay. Whatever you found, you're going to stay there, breathing in, breathing up. Good. Sense some openness across your chest. Bring that front knee over the ankle. Reach back with your back heel and pinky edge side of the foot. Take one more breath. And then we'll release those arms. Send some blood flow back up to those fingers. Release down. Step back to your plank pose. And let's move through our vinyasa. And back. Good. Nice steady breath in on an inhale. And exhale back out. Left leg reaches up high this time. Left knee to nose in that transition. Right, left foot between the hands. Good. Round that back heel. We'll rise up. Inhale. Nice. Good. Sense your right hip coming forward, even if that means you need to shift your left foot over a little bit. Make space for those hips to move and find a sense of neutrality. Shoulders down from the ears. And now this left arm bends from the elbow, laying the hand right between the shoulder blades there. Opposite arm reaches around, perhaps coming up to grab a hold of those fingers. Or lay on the back. I know, opposite sides. One side where you grab the fingers, you're like, whoa. On the other side, maybe not. But we embrace it all. We embrace the right, the left, the hot, the cold. It's good to be in balance. And balance awareness, I should say. Not perfect balance. One more inhale. One more exhale. Good, we'll release the arms. Nice little bind that cuts off some blood flow. That's a good thing because it helps stimulate some new blood flow, flushes things out, and gives us a different awareness, different freedom. And then we're going to release. Again, make your way through your vinyasa. We're going to take a little journey. We've been talking about journeys. Uncharted territory. And how that calls for a lot of right and left, side to side. Maybe not knowing where you're going. So our little journey here is that same action we did with our feet earlier in our side body stretch. So you're going to bring your feet together. Big toes touching. We'll lift up under the balls of the feet. Turn the heels to the right side. Now as you do this, I want you to take a little bit of a softer bend in your knees. Okay? You're going to post down into your right hand. Take your left hand to your right ribs. Find your ribs on your right side of body. Pull them through the door. And then reach that left arm up. Yeah. Kind of a crazy Vashisthasana, something or another. And then if you'd like to, this top arm can like take this little dip, like it's gonna reach over the head and like dip into some sweet nectar or something there. Like you just stuck your fingers in the cookie jar. And they're gonna bring them back up again. And do it maybe one more time, like there's another one, right in the bottom. And then back up. Keeping those hips lifted, strong in the core, release. Spin yourself back to balls of feet. And downward dog. Woo! So pulling those ribs through the door to spin that heart and that belly towards the sky. Let's see what we do on our left side. This might be your side. Feet together. Lift the balls of the feet, spin to the left. And again, notice how we're having a lighter approach in our legs. So the knees are in just kind of this soft flexion. We're going to let our left hand, left arm be strong. Take the right hand to the left ribs. Pull them through the door here so we can start to spin open. Lift that right arm. Now see how you are here. Do you need to shift more towards the back side of the body? Towards the front side of the body? And then drip those fingers over the head, like you're gonna reach the top of your mat. Yeah, with breath. One more time, back up. And over. Nice, and release. Good rotation in our shoulders there too. Take downward dog. And I don't know about you all, but I gotta go down to the knees and shift back. Taking a child's pose for a moment here. Always good to recenter ourselves with our breath, to take a moment to just notice and integrate the practice that we've come through so far. So this is a beautiful time to check in. Never think of these moments in child's pose as this rest or a place where maybe you should push past. I shared at the beginning of our practice, my friends, that many of us have taken on a lot of extra load and complexity this week. We've had to learn new things, do different things in a short amount of time. And one thing about our yoga practice, thank goodness, is that it's a practice. We don't have to be good at it tomorrow or yesterday. We get to just be here with our breath in, with that receiving beautiful energy, and that exhale of just releasing and grounding right here to the moment. Take a big rejuvenating breath in with those thoughts in mind. Exhale, let it all go. And we'll meet ourselves in downward dog again here. Breathing in, breathing out. Take a light jump or step, your choice, front of the mat. Spend just a bit longer here in your Uttanasana forward fold. So really consciously draw your chin towards your heart, towards your inner light. Let the crown of the head truly release towards the earth and the sides of the neck to feel long. Big breath in here and exhale. Inhale to our half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Feel like you can have a little picnic on your back here. And then exhale, fold back in. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, touch your shoulder blades. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. And again, a longer hold here this evening. So you always have an invitation to come out at any time. But if you'd like to stay, we'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fold over those legs, feeling that pelvis roll. Take a big breath in and a breath out. Good. Jump or step. We'll move through Vinyasa pretty much almost our last time here. And back to that downward dog. Take that breath up through the right side again. And bring it up through the left side. Through the center of the body, breathe. Good. Right leg reaches high. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Ground your back heel. We'll rise up, find warrior 2, so nice familiar posture, aligning those hips along the long side of the mat, extending the arms. Then we're going to take a little bit of a different bind here, so it might feel a little bit different even for you. We're going to take our back arm and we're going to reach it around, finding that front, or our right hip anyway, if you can reach that far. We're going to stay here for our breath. And then on an inhale, keeping the arm binded, turn the palm of your right hand to the sky and then start to lift that arm up. Offering the heart and the gaze up towards the sky, but take that front knee and send it more towards your toes. And then engage your back left leg glute and reach down into the heel. Soften the effort in your left shoulder and keep your chest open. Good. Inhale, breath, lengthen through your front leg. Exhale, breath, start to reach out and forward. Unbind your back arm to take it up into Trikonasana triangle. Good. Draw the energy up through the legs here. Feel the legs firm and engaged. One more breath. And rise yourself back up, warrior 2. Inhale, breath, exhale, breath, hold. So bend that front knee over the ankle. And then here comes a different bind. In this case, front arm reaches around. Back arm is going to lift out and over. And we're going to head into Parsvottanasana with this bind. So like you pulled those ribs back through the door, you took those right ribs, pulled them through, spun the heart open. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Good. We'll release that back to warrior 2. Windmilling the arms, framing that front foot, step back, downward dog. Good, so a couple different arm binds. Kind of fun. Breathe in, breathe out. Change our way of thinking, seeing how we respond to it. Can we still just receive what is in the moment? Can we come back and just be here, finding that steadiness of our feet and legs. Left leg rises. Left foot steps forward between those hands firmly, turning that back heel into the earth, opening up. This is a great place, once again, to check in with that alignment of shoulders over the hips. Maybe the front foot needs to inch over a bit. So again, we have that broad base of support. Extend those arms, breathe. Inhale, exhale, breath. When you feel steady here with your breath and you recognize that yielding right to this place, take your back right arm, reach it around to your low back, wherever it wants to land. Maybe it comes and finds the left hip crease. Take a moment to settle into your legs and then start to turn your left palm up, reach up, and this becomes our reverse or dancing warrior. Breathing in, breathing out. Sending gaze to the fingers if you choose. Or gaze forward. As you inhale, begin to straighten through your front leg. I like to bring my back foot in a little bit, probably because my mat's a bit slippery. Shortening that stance for Trikonasana. So letting left arm release to knee or shin, letting the back arm rise up. Grabbing a block as Chris is doing, which is awesome. Breathing here. Good, one more breath. And then we'll head back to that warrior 2. So take the bend in the front knee. Realign back to warrior two. This time with the front arm in mind, reach it around. So you're gonna kind of turn, point your thumb down so that shoulder rotates in that direction. Back arm reaches out and over. And we take our Vinyasa, extended side stretch. Yeah, knit the bottoms of the ribs together. Breathe in and breathe out as you hold. Good, rise up, warrior two. Inhale, breath. As you exhale, windmill around. Second to last vinyasa, and a complete option here, so not an obligation, just if you'd like to move. Downward dog. Let's take a breath in here, noticing ourselves here in this moment. As you're ready, light jump or step forward, front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands heart center. Ooh.
Ooh, got some fans.
Right. It must be the sun in here today.
Ooh. I guess it's not 100 degrees.
No. This is not the hot yoga room. All right, my friends. We're gonna head back into those cow-faced arms, and we're gonna use a little bit more of our leg power, and we'll come into a little bit of balance from there as well. So really testing out that right to left, sun and moon kind of sensation in our bodies. We'll bring the feet a little bit closer together for this work. Take an inhale, breath, arms reach up. As you exhale, head down into your Uttanasana. Inhale, breath, half lift. Exhale, breath, fold in. Plant your hands, bend your knees, step back, plank pose. Good, take a pause here. Just breathe in and breathe out. And then with the feet close together, how does it feel lifting the hips high to the sky, coming into that downward dog? Just a different balance, but breathing, noticing that breath. Inhale, exhale. Good, take the right leg up high. This time stacking the hips if that's in your practice, so you bend the knee. And then I like to think about tractioning that knee up the back wall or the wall behind you a little bit more, lift that hip before you kind of spin it open and drop the heel towards the opposite bump. Watch what happens in your shoulders, especially that left shoulder. Keep them squared off, hollow into the armpits, breathe, back of the heart faces the sky. One more breath, holding here, friends, great job. Re-extend that leg. Even out the hips and the belly so they go parallel to the earth and step forward, this time staying for a high lunge. So really set yourself up in your feet and up into your legs to rise up with that energy. Woo, to lift up here. All right, so from here, we're gonna take that cow-faced arm. So just check in with where you are in your body and your breath for a moment. And then we'll take that right arm, come back here, left arm reaches around. So while this is already fun, we're gonna make it a little more fun. We're gonna start to add a little dynamic movement into our legs. So we're gonna bring some energy and heat there. So we're gonna let our left knee travel down towards our mat. And then push down into the middle of the right heel, rise up, see if you can straighten through that front right leg. And then inhale down, you go slow and steady. Exhale, press down. And let's do one more if that's there for you, or just hold if you choose to. Having to keep that arm bind. Good. Find the lunge. Push down into your right foot. Launch off with your back foot. And head into Virabhadrasana 3. Can you keep your arm bind? Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Now step together. Release your arms. And fold into Uttanasana. Woo, right?
Yeah.
Shake out those arms, those shoulders, and the head. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll take a half lift inhale. Exhale back in. Step yourself back plank. I jokingly tell students sometimes, good thing we're not like an octopus and we have 8 sides. We only have 2, which means we only have to do it one more time. So bringing the feet a little closer together, just a different transition to practice. Lifting up from your belly, hips high, downward dog. And sometimes that just changes your stance a little bit, the distance between your feet and your hands, and you can play with that a little bit. Take a breath. Good. And with this shorter stance, we end up with a different kind of stability of our lower body as we reach now that left leg up. Good. Option again to bend the knee, to start to stack the hips. So maybe imagine that hip getting a little bit higher before it stacks on top of the right hip. Maybe the gaze goes under the left armpit, but watch where you are in your breath. Such a good indicator of that steady, easeful breath. Receiving, yielding. When you're ready, even yourself out, hips to belly, to the earth. Step forward. Good. From here, we're going to rise up to that crescent lunge. So get steady in your feet with your breath. Inhale. Good. Nice and easeful now that our legs are ready to go. Now this left hand comes back to that place between the shoulder blades. Other arm wraps around. We don't have to make a connection there. Just wherever it lands. It could lay across the back. See my fingers over here? Just laying across the back. Good. Set yourself up when you're ready to bring that back right knee down and then press back up. Notice your balance differently on this side. Could be a little more wobbly. Sense yourself with your gaze forward, your neck long, your heart and chest open. Good. Third one. That was 4. Oh, Chris is counting. It's a good thing. I suck at the counting part. All right, I was like, that could absolutely be true. All right, we're going to launch into Virabhadrasana 3 just for that. Lift that back leg. Woo, this might be your superhero pose. Right here, this might be your great side. Embrace it. Embrace the wobble, baby. One more breath. And release. Good. Shake those arms out. Heel toe your feet the width of your mat, friends. And then take your hands, reach the left hand over to the right ankle. Reach the, the right hand over to the left ankle. That's what I mean. So you're making a cross here with your arms. And your chin can kind of tuck into that little keyhole there that you just made. Your upper arms. Let the crown of the head release. And this might be plenty for you right here, this little bind and bringing some awareness into those shoulders and upper back. But if you want to tag into some work of your hips and knees and getting them softened up for the end of class here, bend into your knees and send your weight back into your heels, letting your heart reach forward. And then as you exhale, press down into the feet, lengthen up through those legs, and say hello to the hamstrings. And maybe do that again. So inhale, breath, big contraction. Unfortunately, those hamstrings have 2 connection points, backs of our knees and in our bums. So I'm feeling it in both places here. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Good. Go ahead and release the arms. And take your time heel toeing feet in. So not quite as wide. Take an inhale breath, half lift. And an exhale breath, fold in. Inhale breath, rise. And an exhale breath, hands heart center. Nice. We're going to end with a final balance pose, Flamingo. So kind of takes into account some work we've done already with some knee flexion and standing in one leg. And then we get to head to the best part of class, right? The end of class, yay. All right, so starting with our right leg. Just a right side kind of day today. So down into the right foot. And keep in mind all those reminders that you get from all the teachers here about grounding down into your feet, engaging up through your legs, and maybe kicking up into some of those bandhas and locks. And then our other leg is curiously going to bend. So if I turn this way, maybe you can see it better. Okay? So it's going to bend like I'm going to try to take my heel towards my bum, but I'm not going to let my hips get uneven. So it's not going to be dancer pose. We're going to keep our pelvis tucked under, so maybe even think about how you're going to find that nice neutral pelvis. And almost like you're going to try to hug the knees together. And then maintaining this, hands come to heart center. Don't you feel like a little flamingo? Yeah, well, we're gonna hinge from our hips and be the flamingo that hinges down and grabs that beautiful bounty below.
Pink shrimp.
Yes, for sure, pink shrimp. But it's gonna hang out here, so you can't decide, there's too many. And it's just gonna breathe. So keep the standing leg right leg nice and strong and straight. And then come back up when you're ready. Whew. And release. And I would march it out just a little bit. If you feel like even kind of bringing that knee into that different flexion movement, just bringing it forward and back a little bit. Notice maybe where you kind of dove a lot of energy into. And don't forget that the standing leg bum has some good energy to it. So really feel like you can come up and energize into that space. Okay? So we're taking the other side. So it's almost like you're going to reach back and have a little quad stretch is essentially what it feels like. But then we keep the foot in flexion. Okay, so in a little bit of a dorsiflexion, hugging the legs towards each other. Oh, this feels totally different on this leg. And we're hinging from our hips. And yes, flamingos do eat pink shrimp, right? That's what makes them pink, I think, if I remember my science correctly. Oh, and we need some pink beautifulness in our lives right now, my friends. To remember those wonders of nature, what we are grateful for in the moment. Well, let's take one more look at those shrimp down there, and then up we go. And shake it out. Good. Kick your legs forward a little bit. Now, as we head down to the earth, we're going to get some nice good work on our backs. So if we come down and I need to sit back up again, I'm going to leave Betsy and Chris where they are, but just sitting up so that you can hear my voice and I'm not down so close to the earth. But I'll join you for a moment. We'll take a deep breath in, arms reach up. As you exhale, hands through heart center this time, folding forward into Uttanasana. Inhale with our half lift. Exhale, fold back in. Take a seat back onto the earth here. Just nice and steady, nice and easy. Let your knees open to the side, the soles of your feet come together. And we'll start here seated in Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, and then we'll start to recline back with it as well. So sense for yourself if a further position of your heels could be a little bit better for you today. I'll tell you from lots of sitting, all those hip flexors are gonna just shorten and feel tight and tense. So all the more reason to do your yoga, my friends. Just stretch out those hip flexors. You maybe curl your fingers around your toes here or reach around to your ankles and sit up as tall as you can through your spine for this first breath in. So really lengthening up through the crown of the head. And then take a big exhale breath. And let's do one more time. Inhale.
Oh, sorry, everyone.
You're good. And exhale. And we'll return for just a moment to our elbows on the legs here. Lengthen forward like you're feeling a string stretch from the tailbone out through the crown of the head. And then while you do that, feel your shoulders pull down from the ears, the shoulder blades draw in and down. And maybe there's a little bit of effort from the elbows, right? So they're connected down onto the legs, and maybe on an exhale breath, they invite the hips to open. But don't force anything, just take a few breaths here and sense what is most accessible for you. And then letting go of that as you rise up. And here's the curious part, how to come down in that position. So maybe one elbow at a time. Now letting your back body slowly descend, letting your head rest onto the earth. And let's lay one hand onto the belly and one hand to the chest with really an opportunity here to just connect with our breath for just 2 rounds, and then we'll draw those knees together. So inhale, breath. And exhale, breath. And inhale, breath. And exhale. Good. Take your hands to the outsides of your legs. Go ahead and draw them in together. And do a little bit of rearranging on your mat so that you feel like your spine has length to it and there's not a big, huge arch of your low back. So you shouldn't be able to thread your arm through that low back space. Then we'll draw our knees in. That'll give a nice stretch into the low back. And as you do that, as you draw those knees into the chest, my friends, see if you can send your sacrum and your tailbone back down towards the floor. So maybe there's a little bit of resistance or an opposing energy. You might have some sensation into your hips. And then rock gently, just side to side over your low back, breathing in and out as you go. Bringing that motion to a stop, switch your arms and hands so they're on the right knee or on top of the right knee, and extend your left leg out. You can either hover it or you can lay it all the way down onto the earth, you decide. Take a nice inhale breath here. And as you exhale, curl yourself up, head, neck, and shoulders, drawing your nose towards your knee. And then easy does it, let the head, neck, and shoulders release, let the leg lay on the earth. And now extend that right leg straight up to the sky. Take a couple of pointing and flexing movements, breathing in, breathing out. And then depending on how your right hamstring is feeling this evening, if it's feeling pretty good, and you want to get a little bit more work here, you could reach up with your, we call them kind of our yogi grip, but your peace fingers around your big toe perhaps. And your other left arm could glide down the leg or set on the floor to anchor you in. And here's your inhale breath. And as you exhale, curling head, neck, and shoulders, trying to draw your nose and your knee towards each other. And keeping some good flexion of that opposite left foot and left toes. And we'll stay here for maybe 3, 2, 1. Gently release. Great job, my friends. You can place that foot on the floor for the moment. Draw the left knee in, and then make that choice for yourself if the right leg here is going to hover or lay down onto the earth. One is not better than the other. Inhale, breath through the nose. As you exhale, curling head, neck, and shoulders off the earth because you flex into that front body. You feel the belly draw down into the spine and your back body press into the earth. And then easy does it, let it go. Maybe the head can move side to side for just a moment, but then lay the right leg down to the earth if it's not there. Extend left leg up to the sky here. Any movement in the toes and the ankles, that feels good. Relax your shoulder blades under your body. And then we'll have the same opportunity here, same thing. Can you reach up and grab that left toe with your yogi grip? If maybe you're at the ankle or the shin or somewhere else, that's okay too. And take an inhale breath and exhale, curling up. So I'm just holding onto the back of my calf here, not even trying to reach up towards that toe. But still getting the same action in the body, getting some nice work into the back of the left hamstring. Watching that you don't take tension into your face here, we'll hold for 3, 2, 1. And release. Good. Let the left foot and the right foot set onto the earth with the knees bent. Arms down along your sides. And we'll take a mini bridge pose here. When you're ready, lifting the hips. Staying nice and neutral in those hips. Tucking the shoulders under you. If it's in your practice to interlace your fingers or find your ankles by walking your feet back in towards your bum a little bit, just take a place here that feels best for you. Letting that heart rise up. The chest rises to the chin, the hips lift to the sky. And then as you're ready, go ahead and make your way back down, just one vertebrae at a time. Nice. We'll take a twist to your own curiosity here. So you're going to let the knees float over towards the right side. And let the gaze maybe perhaps go to the opposite left side. Notice how your heart and chest open back up towards the sky. Feel that wringing out from your center. So letting go of anything here remaining in body and mind, looking for that space we've created with our asana, with our practice. The freedom now of that breath to move in and around, even from this twist. Perhaps on your next inhale, bring the knees back up to center. And as you exhale, we'll let them release over to the other side. Can the gaze shift with you here as well? Breathing in and breathing out. Coming towards this ending time of our practice, letting the practice soak in, letting us integrate the work. And as you're ready, come back to center. Maybe take a full body stretch, reaching through the fingers and through the toes. And then we'll finish in final resting pose when you're ready. Just giving you a few moments. So as we come down to our final place of rest here, I want you to draw awareness to the right side of the body, breathing up from your right toes, through your right leg, alongside of the right side of the body, touching all the organs there, all the way up to the shoulder, down the arm into the fingers. And then come back up, inhale from right fingers up through that arm and shoulder, across the heart and the chest, and feel the breath move like a wave down your left arm to your left fingers. And letting it pool there for a moment. And then take that pooling breath on an inhale, the wave comes back up that left arm and heads straight down to the left side of the body. Breathing with ease all the way. Down to those left toes. And you could maybe stay with that visualization of the breath moving up through one side of the body and out through the other. And I'm going to offer up another way to be here in your body if you'd like to stay here with us. We'll finish with a short visualization and a final blessing for each one of you. So as you come to that even tempo and cadence of your breath, of your natural inhale, exhale flow, that deep and easy breath that reflects your openness and your ability to receive and embrace life. And the exhale, the freedom, reflecting our ability to let go, to move on. With the first set of 3 breaths, as you inhale and exhale, I want you to imagine on that exhale breath that you're letting go of all thoughts. You might even picture your thoughts as clouds appearing and then passing out of sight, leaving an open and spacious sky. On a second set of 3 breaths, again on the exhalation, imagine you're letting go of any physical tension. In areas of tightness, you might sense softening and dissolving. Like the dense, dark clouds of the sky could be thinning or pulling or breaking apart, again revealing that clear and bright sky. And on this last set of 3 breaths, so 3 times with an inhale and an exhale, and on that exhale, imagine letting go of the burdens of your heart. Sense a loosening and releasing. Maybe as if a heavy fog is lifting and you allow the warmth and the light of the sun to come in. Breathing naturally, sensing this relaxing in-breath and out-breath. We'll begin to unify our breath. On your next inhale, draw the breath in. Exhale, open mouth, sigh. Inhale when you're ready. Then maybe an open mouth sigh. Third time, breathing in fully. And an open mouth sigh. Good. From here, my friends, begin to move your fingers and toes and your head from side to side. And as you're ready, come into a seated posture. Take your time. So as I mentioned, I wanted to share a variation of the loving kindness meditation. It's one that you could type into Google and get probably 100 different versions and audios and ways of engaging in this particular blessing, so to speak. So I'm going to keep it simple. I'll be saying it. I'll be inviting Chris and Betsy to say it with me, and then we'll bring it into kind of the community and all of us as beings. So it starts with I. It moves to you, and then we say you and I, or all beings is the word that we'll use in place of that. So it begins like this. May I be happy. May I be safe.
May I be safe.
May I be healthy and strong.
May I be healthy and strong.
May I be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. May I be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. And we offer to you, may you be happy.
May you be happy.
May you be safe.
May you be safe.
May you be healthy and strong.
May you be healthy and strong.
May you be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. May you be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. And then with palms open as a symbol of receiving and accepting, we repeat, and we'll say this together, all of us. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. I thank you all for joining us as we place our palms together in Anjali Hand Mudra. We bow to and honor the divine, the light, the wonderful energy in each one of you as you honor the same in us. And may you all stay well. Namaste.
Namaste.
feel like we should high five.
Oh, love. I know.
From a 6-foot moment. Oh, we're so glad you all joined us. Yay!
I thought you were going to do your own.
It's okay.